Yeah. They hate when you elevate.
All right, all right, all right.
We will not have it. I said we will not have it. Oh.
Yeah, Ray, what's up, man? Breaking news.
Good.
What's good?
Yeah.
Last minute putting this together, man. Just we was gonna try to hold off on this, but you know, at the end of the day,
hot. It's on fire. Get it while it's hot, baby. Get it while it's hot.
We gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it because at the end of the day, you know, when you get the kind of heat that we get for just speaking the truth, for just being honest and being real boxing fans and not being fanatics and fanboys about certain topics, you know, every now and then you get a moment where you just get to, you know, and you know, this right here, for me, this is not about the fighter, right? Because the fighter is going to do what the fighter does. Whatever benefits him, he you know, whatever is working for him, he's going to do it and it doesn't blow us away, you know. This is for the fanatics. All right, so what's going on? Let's get everybody up to speed. If you don't know and you're living in some box somewhere under a rock somewhere and you're not aware of what's going on right now. So last night, Conor Benn had his stateside debut in Vegas, fighting against Pistol Pete Dobson from out of the Bronx. It was a decent fight. You know, Conor Benn didn't you know, show the power that I think that everybody wanted to see from him. He didn't show that power, but, you know, for the most part, it was a competitive fight. You know, Conor Benn clearly won the fight. But ultimately, at the end of the fight, what ended up happening is Devin Haney's father, Bill Haney, and Eddie Hearns as well. Seems like Eddie Hearns was in the background trying to coordinate something between between Devin and Conor. Fast forward, that happened last night. So this morning, or last night, actually, to be honest with you, I believe is when the first tweet came out, where basically Gervonta had a comment on Conor Benn's performance and basically saying things that towards the nature of he could beat him with just like a 3-week preparation and a weekend in Turks. Which I don't know. I guess that's Turks and Caicos. I'm assuming the island or something like that. I don't know what that is. But regardless. Yeah, listen, I didn't want to jump. I'm not jumping the gun, so I'm not finna say. I'm not finna go there. I'm just gonna say
we can weigh it out. We can weigh it out.
I'm gonna say I don't know what he was talking about, one way or the other. You feel me? I could say that from my heart. I don't know what he was talking about. So, but at the end of the day, you know, I think most people who heard or who read that tweet or whatever he was doing just read it as, you know, banter, him just talking a little mess, poking at the bear a little bit, making a little fun. But he continues to follow it up, and Conor Benn responds to him saying, listen, man, if you want to find out about that, you know, you can come get that work. And you know, it goes back and forth, but ultimately ends up in Conor Benn telling Eddie Hearn to reach out to Tank Davis, because while it's hot, I believe Conor Benn said something to the realms of hurry up and respond to him before he erases a tweet, which we know Gervonta is notorious for that, saying things and erasing the tweet. So Eddie Hearns reaches back out to Tank Davis and says, listen, are you interested in that fight? And Tank Davis replies, man, let's get it. Let's put it together. So here we are today, the next day, as this thing is unfolding, and it looks like Tank Davis is trying to challenge Conor Benn, set up a fight with Conor Benn through Eddie Hearns. And of course, the boxing space is going nuts right now. They're going nuts right now. Everybody has something to say about it. Everybody has to respond to it, because it looks like from the outside looking in, it looks like Tank Davis is ultimately challenging somebody who weighed in last night at 170 pounds on rehydration. Fights at 151 pounds, really is a welterweight at 147 pounds. Meanwhile, Devin Haney and his team and everybody's been trying to see how they can coordinate a fight between Tank Davis and Devin, and the Tank fans have just been so adamant about the fact that Devin Haney would have to come back to 135 pounds to fight Tank Davis, that if he was to fight him at the best he could get out of Tank Davis was a catch weight fight, to where there'd be all kinds of rehydration clauses, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And, you know, I've always gone on record to say that I don't think Tank shares the thought process that his fan base does, right? When it comes to fighting, when it comes to, you know, 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 Like his fan base seems to really want to insulate him and protect him and doesn't want him to be in any kind of danger. Very concerned about his A-side privileges, very protective on his A-side privileges and making sure that Tank Davis is not being taken advantage of. And for them, they've put in their mind that they want Tank to fight at 135 pounds, that he's a 135 pounder. What does he have to benefit to go up to 140 pounds? That's fair. Even though Tank has actually competed at 140 pounds, actually had a championship, interim WBA championship up there that he received when he beat Mario Barrios. Even though he's done all that, they still feel like the practical thing to do is to go ahead and deplete, drain Devin Haney, bring him to 135, and that he should compete with Tank Davis in that space. Now, I've also gone on record to say that if that's what Tank wants, then Tank should communicate that through a offer of some sort. Because ultimately, as an A-side, from what I'm being educated on, right, from the A-side perspective, he's the only one who can put out offers. He can't receive any offers, and ultimately, he's the only one who can put out an offer. So it's like, all right, well, if this is stipulations, if it has to be at 135 or at a catch weight with a rehydration clause, whatever the conditions are, make it official, put it out as an offer, as to show some good faith that he actually is interested in the fight. Because right now it doesn't look like he's interested in the fight at all. Well, right. All in all, not trying not to be too long-winded about it, just to say that we're at a point right now where he's challenging Conor Benn. And let's be honest, if he's challenging Conor Benn, we cannot put in our minds, unless he says this, because a lot of people are jumping, a lot of platforms. Well, no, I'm going to say a lot. I'll say one or two particular platforms.
There's a few.
Right. But I'd say there's one specific one that seems to believe that the goal is to get Conor Benn to come down to 135 pounds. Right, and fight Tank Davis, which is just, once again, just reaching, right, for something to grab onto to make this make sense. But from my perspective, it would make way more sense if you're challenging Conor Benn, and Conor Benn has nothing to gain in fighting Gervonta Tank Davis except for some money, I guess. But at the end of the day, him coming down to 135, I don't think he would do that. He's not that thirsty for money. He's a second-generation boxer, very wealthy, coming to the game. I don't see him putting his health and his well-being on the line to come and fight Gervonta, to get an opportunity to fight Gervonta Tank Davis in a weight class he's never fought in before. He's never been that small before and fought that low of a weight class. So, it's interesting. We're here now. This is where we are right now at this moment, to where we're dealing with the fact that Gervonta Tank Davis is talking about fighting somebody who weighed in last night 170 pounds, but will not fight Devin Haney because of, supposedly from the fan base, not from Gervonta Tank Davis. Because in all actuality, I've also gone on record to say that Gervonta's always gone on record to say he will fight. There's been proof between his friend Richard Hitchinson, who said they had over 100 conversations, of Tank saying he had no problem fighting Devin Haney at 140 pounds without a rehydration clause. There's him responding to Sean Porter, letting him know that he beat him in sparring well over 147 pounds. Just different responses from Gervonta, that none of them has ever coincided or aligned with him not wanting to fight, being worried or not wanting to fight Devin at 140 pounds, right? So the question goes, excuses, right? The statement is excuses. And who we talking about? We're talking about the fan base. You know what I mean? But I digress. I won't go too much further than that. I definitely want to let my co-host kick in. I just want to get you guys up to speed as to what's happening right now, just so we understand what we're talking about. But go ahead, Ray. How do you feel about it?
Whew. Like I said, it is hot in here, bro. We need that song from Salute to Nelly, because it is getting hot in here. Man, listen. I don't understand where all these things that we've been discussing and I've been defending on other platforms, such as one you mentioned earlier without name being, and basically beating the brakes off this guy, this platform, explaining these things. So now we're at the point where I'm saying, like, yo, the proof is in the pudding, brother. Like, ain't nothing you can do but accept it with it for what it is. Don't make excuses for it. Don't keep telling people, oh, it's you painting this narrative, because we call you Bob Ross now. You the Bob Ross of boxing. You know what I mean? That's your nickname. I don't care. If you see it, you know we're talking about you. So let's get there. You know what I mean? So now we got this, and all this cooking and all that stuff going on is about to slam down. All this calling other people liars and saying that people are paid, and man, It's all coming to fruition. Answers are being met. Deadlines are being met. Fights aren't being seen. At the end of the day, we got a guy who said that Tank can't make 140 or won't fight at 140. His weight division is 135. Devin needs to come to 135. But yet, Tank's jumping 140 to go 147. That's what it looks like. That's crazy. Not only that, here's a fight that he announced for the summer in England.
Yeah, man.
Saying, when things start adding up, man, seems like we got a guy that's taking the Florida approach of being a natural welterweight, walking around and just getting into that ring and showing his skill set. So we can put it and market as anything we want. I'm just saying, when you got guys on there like Leonard Ellaby saying he's 130, he's a 130 pounder. He's a 130 pounder. You know, he can make 135, but you know, all the extra stuff. And, you know, this guy putting on 20 pounds is too much. But we got a guy who just did 20 pounds, and his 20 pounds went up to 70. But we complain about a guy that made 25 pounds and went to 165. And probably had to lose the weight to make the fight he had to get in because he had to be in a percentage in a state. It probably forced him to lose those extra pounds to get into the percentage that he needed to be at. But no, everybody talks about how he gained weight. I'm like, man, y'all crazy. Y'all don't look at the other side. You always want to push the button. But now the panic button's pushed on you. Your boy looked like he won it.
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, and I want to be clear, right? I'm honestly, me personally, I'm not pointing at Gervonta. I'm like, all right, he's doing what he does.
Tank. This ain't Tank.
Right?
This is fan base.
Right. That he's gonna do what he does. You know what I'm saying? But you know, being me personally, I can say that on multiple, you know, not multiple, I say like 2 platforms, maybe, where, you know, I've been ostracized, right? I've been scrutinized and pushed into and painted as somebody who's pushing a false narrative of some sort, or trying to draw some picture, or always coming to the defense of certain fighters. And, you know, and no matter how much you try to just be honest about being just unbiased, right? Just being honest, not a fan of anybody, you know what I mean? Just being really right down the middle, addressing the situation for what it is.
Correct.
At the end of the day, when you have a fighter like Tank Davis with the talent that he has, it's only right that us as boxing fans and other boxing fans all around the world are going to want to see him fight the best. It's just natural.
I agree.
We want to see him fight the best because he shows so much talent. Nobody wants to see him get hurt, you know what I mean, get put in a bad situation. We just want to see him compete with the best. And when you're dealing with the fan base that's out here today, which is, in my opinion, a casual fan base, right? I just don't see what this casual fan base shares with. I don't see what this fan base today shares with actual boxing fans that we grew up around in our generation, our era, where all we wanted to see was the best fight the best. And we didn't respect the best not fighting the best. But this generation has no problem with their fighter. You know, I've heard on multiple different platforms, I don't care who he fights next. Whoever he fights next, I'm going to watch it. It doesn't matter to me. It matters to you guys. It don't matter to me. It just, that's not what the cloth we cut from. When you see certain talent, you want to see the talent fight against other talent, generational talent. And time is not waiting for anybody. Time is moving forward. Devin Haney's getting older. He's getting more into his grown man weight, where he'll be at 147 before you know it. Tank Davis is, you know what I mean, he's getting older. He's almost 30 years old. He's pretty much damn near 30 years old. Timing for these fights make the biggest difference in the world. If Tank is not going to, and he doesn't have to fight Devin Haney. He doesn't have to fight Devin Haney. I want to put down on record.
He does. He does.
At this point, you feel so?
He said he's on his hit list, 2024, #1. He has to fight him.
Okay.
He has to fight him. You know why? He put the list out. He was the first name called out. Told him he gonna make his daddy cry, knock his head off.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Listen, I mean, me personally, I agree, but at the same time, this is what I'm okay with. I'm okay with him feeling like he wants to fight somebody. There's other fighters he could fight where I'm like, all right, you want to fight Shakur? You want to fight Lomo? You want to fight Teofimo? You want to fight Frank Martin? Fight somebody. What I'm not cool with is, and I'm not trying to hear is, you cherry picking a counter Ben who you feel like had a bad performance or who you feel like stylistically matches the way you fight.
That's what they said Devin did. They said Devin cherry picked Regis.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, hey, why can't he? Guess what? It's more risk, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Stylistically.
So I'll give him credit for the fight. Yeah, I'll give him credit for the fight. But the point is,
what, credit for the counter Ben fight?
Yeah, I'll give him credit for it because, like I said, there's more risk for him. You know, moving up 2 divisions, fight a guy that has speed, and you know, I mean, they're lacking this.
I don't know if I would, man.
You know what? At the end of the day, it's a fight to get him back in the ring, right? Maybe he continues his hit list from there. Maybe he calls Devin out. Maybe he goes for one of those belts up there. Devin likes belts too, right? That's where they all meet at. Maybe that could be the scenario.
Maybe, but it does seem opportunistic. It does seem like you
absolutely.
It does seem like a cherry pick.
I think it's clout.
Yeah.
I just think my thing is I'm out there trying to explain why I think this fight is a great fight and why I probably think it won't happen. And I'm getting chewed out. Like I said, I've been told I was on the payroll, bro. Like, I'm like, bro.
Oh yeah, I've heard it.
That dude in Las Vegas, I ain't see a dime. If I'm on payroll, we need to call my lawyer because he ain't paying me. But it's okay. But here's the problem. We got this fight with Tank, right? If he does it, he does it. Whatever. That's his business. But you got this guy, Devin, that's been calling you out for so long. And this is to the fans. It's not the Tank.
Right.
And all these excuses were compiled, and built up.
That's a fact.
You try to defend it, you try to explain it. And all you get from this whole argument is, well, why ain't he send the contract? Leonard Elby said, you don't send us contracts. Oh, call Al. Al ain't got no phone number. Oh, okay, we want to make the fight happen. Contact us. Eddie Hearn, right?
What?
Oh, where's Eddie at? Hey, Eddie, I'm going to hit you up. Where was all the same energy when this was Devin calling these shots? Like I said, I think it's clout. He's trying to step on Devin's toes and get ahead of him, which is not a problem. It's boxing's a game. It's a sport. You know what I mean? You can play head games. It's cool. But I'm just going to tell you, he better not call out Conor Benn, move another direction just to play games. And if he's playing games, he better not move out the way of Devin Haney. Because at the end of the day, we all know what they're going to start calling him.
They already have.
I'm just saying. I know what they're saying now, but I'm saying it's going to be official. Like, you're going to have to put a stamp on it. And
right.
There's no coming back from that at that point. I'm sorry. That's my point. I have nothing else to say.
Yeah, games, you know, it's all fun and games till your eye get poked out, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Till you shoot your eye out. And I think you're playing dangerous games when, you know, credibility's on the line. Credibility's on the line, you know, and legacy's on the line. And I know people act like legacy don't matter. They, you know, whatever. The history books will say what the history books say. You know, not everything is for sale. Not everything is about money. Something, you know, certain conversations, it just ain't about that. It's just about credibility. It's about who you were for the sport, who you were to the sport, how the sport saw you. What did you do for the sport, you know? And that's what it'll come down to. As far as the fanatics go, I know some people, I'm noticing some platforms that I know are pro-Tank platforms. They're being honest about it. Some of them are. I'll give you guys credibility. Some of you guys are coming out and just calling it out for what it is and showing your dissatisfaction with what you're seeing. But you got guys out there who are doubling down and they want to talk about reputations being shattered. What I don't know, you know, the history books will speak what the history books will say. I know me, I've always been able to stand on my square for whatever I say. You know what I mean? Whatever I say, I'm willing to stand on it. I'm
I
sure
made
you
my
guys
square
will too.
small, man. I made my square small. I stand on stones. I'll let you know, and I balance myself very well on those stones. So,
Right.
I mean, even with the Pacquiao talks, that's another one that got me. I'm like, yo, you guys just said this guy fought nothing but old men, and you got a guy trying to fight a 40-year-old man.
45.
I'm just saying, a lot of hypocrisy. It's a lot of hypocrisy from the fans, bro, and they think
When was
that's
the
a
last
great
fight?
fight.
Manny fight? What, 4 years ago with Keith?
Right.
Did he fight
That's
after
what I'm
that?
saying. Like, and the hypocrisy's there, dog. It's like no matter what happens, you got to keep that same energy, and they're not. And that's where I said this is a big slap in the face right now, and I'm enjoying every moment of it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it, but I'm definitely enjoying it, but I'm not at the same time because if we don't start holding these boxers towards real boxing standards, boxing is going to go down the toilet. Like, this can't continue much longer this way, where the best aren't fighting the best, and then we have a fan base out there right now who's very content with that, right?
Right.
What are you guys going to say to this?
Right.
Does this even make sense? And look, tomorrow morning we may wake up and Tank may put out a tweet saying, "I was just playing around. You guys know whatever." He might do it. Maybe he's getting advised to do it. You know what I'm saying? He might be getting advised to do it because I also feel like he's put his own team under fire right now. They have to be cleaning up this mess to a degree. What do they look like? Leonard Ellaby's been on his campaign talking about weight classes and what I'm saying, what he can and he can't do, and money and all this stuff. And then Tank just freely goes on a tweet and just completely goes against everything that everybody's been saying. Coach Calvin has been saying, weight classes, for a reason, and negotiating, right? All these different things. But you guys, your fighter calls out a guy who's never done pay-per-view, has no belts, just coming off PD. PED. He's not even done. He's literally in the midst of appealing a PED accusation. Can't even compete in his own home country. Literally, they had the pay-per-view yesterday at 5:30. He was fighting because it was going to be 10:30 in England. So they're trying to circumvent and still entertain the fan base in England. And had a performance that a lot of people didn't feel like was up to speed or up to par with performances he's had before. So it looks like you're cherry picking. It looks like he's cherry picking, catching this guy at his lowest moment. None of what he's saying is aligning with what you guys say is important. There's also rumors going around that people were expecting him to be on this March 30th card that you guys coming up, that he's not going to be on for whatever reason. I mean, I don't think it's up for argument.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I don't think it's up for argument that Tim Tszyu and Keith Thurman was put together as not as only as a headliner, but it was last minute. Right. Tim Tszyu already spoke on it and let it be known that he was getting ready. He thought he was getting ready for Terrence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And that he was just told all of a sudden, like, yo, we're going to put you on this card. It's going to be against Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? This fight is not even for a championship belt. It's at 155 catch weight. WBO won't even sanction the fight to be a WBO, you know what I'm saying, fight. That's how last minute it was, right? So we don't know why. And it was being marketed all across the board. You know what I mean? Did PBC say it? I'm not sure. I won't go in there and say PBC said that Tank was going to be fighting on that card, but it was pretty clearly communicated to the boxing space that Tank Davis was going to open up the first pay-per-view in March, that he was going to be on the card. It was pretty clearly communicated across the board. Most people were like, what? With the Keith Thurman, like literally Tim Bradley canceled his Amazon Prime membership. You know what I'm saying?
I think Bob Ross was on that too. I think he said that too, but we'll leave it alone.
Right. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is a lot of things are going on where it just looks like multiple things look like crazy. It looks crazy as far as why Tank and Devin aren't fighting. It looks crazy as to the fact that no matter what the fan base is wanting to say, no matter what the representation around him is wanting to say, every time Tank Davis comes out and does a tweet or does any kind of messaging, it generally counters everything that everybody's been saying about him. It counters what his team's saying. It counters what the fans are saying. So it just seems like a lot of people just aren't on the same page with this guy. And not to mention, call out. This guy reached out to Eddie Hearn. Said Eddie Hearn, let's line up. All of a sudden, there's communication. All of a sudden, it's open line of communication, and Tank can speak to whoever he wants to speak to, and he's putting together, he's negotiating his own deals right now. Where's Al?
Right.
Where's Al? You know?
I don't see him. Let me call him. Hold on.
Yeah. Wrong number. That's not the right number. That's not the right number. You know what I mean?
Baby, you want baby? I know that.
You know, I mean, when it comes down to at the end of the day, I can go deeper into the hole and of asking questions that I'm sure could ruffle a lot of feathers up. People would just feel like I'm reaching, and I wouldn't be reaching. These are just obvious questions. I'll save for a later date. I really will save them for a later date. But I'll tell you what, the fan base, that's a black eye for you guys. Because Gervonta really ain't got no black eye because he never promised nobody nothing. He's always been saying where he stand. And from what I could tell from his communication, this doesn't even shock me. It doesn't even shock me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he's been making it clear he doesn't care about weight, rehydration. To me, he's been making that clear from what I've been hearing. I've been hearing it clear, but from what you guys have been saying, oh, he needs to fight at 135. If he wants to fight, he needs to do what he needs to call Al. He needs to do this. He needs to do that. Well, all right. Well, it doesn't seem like Tank is on the same page with you guys. Really a black eye for you guys. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about it. But you know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like, you know, you thought the shots were going for the opponent, but came right back to y'all. And we done told y'all, stop sticking up for stuff you don't know. This guy's not relaying this information. He's not telling people that. It's been out there for a long time. Everybody's speaking for him but himself. And that's what happens. He opens his mouth. Man.
And you guys not in the inability to even weigh out opportunities. You know what I mean? This whole entire, you know, Turkey Al-Sheikh situation and his abilities and trying to, you know, you go into his bank account and putting out there that he's worth this much and he's not a prince and all this stuff. And, you know, like none of these things have ever been relevant as to, you know, the reach or his ability to make or provide any kind of opportunities for fighters. In his history, his track record should speak to the fact that of his ability to make an offer and stand by his offer. You know, fighters like Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, you know, ask these guys, Tyson Fury, Francis Ngannou, ask these guys if the money over there is real. Ask them if the opportunities are real. You know what I mean? Right. When you hear Deontay Wilder saying he'll fight nowhere else but Saudi Arabia for the rest of his career, he's, you know, that's not his cousins over there. He's saying that for a reason. The pay is what it is. It's tried true. And for you guys to try to like minimize his influence or his authority over the matter of distribution of purses in Saudi Arabia, it's just stupid. It just shows how desperate you guys are to hit a narrative up that's not even true.
Didn't one of them make like $50 million on their last fight?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And on this fight coming up, yeah, I think it was Tyson Fury made $50 million and Francis Ngannou made like 10. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But on this fight coming up now, I think Anthony Joshua is somewhere around 50 he's supposed to be, and I think Francis Ngannou is supposed to be like 20 million. You know what I mean? So I mean, we don't need to. That's a stupid game to play. And when you guys try to play it off like we're reaching, like where you guys getting your information from? I heard one content creator say that he heard that the people on the undercard made like no money. It's just, where did you get that information from? You're talking about facts over feelings, right?
Right. What
facts? Please present these documents, present these sources for the world to see, to show us that these guys didn't get paid. Right. Present these testimonies from these fighters that fought on the card going around saying they didn't make any money. You know, for what? Just to push a narrative?
Oh, because the guy went and repossessed it, went and got his car back. He didn't make no money.
Oh, that's what it was? Was that what it was about?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the reason.
Yeah, I guess it was about Jarrell. Okay. Maybe. I don't know. But if I sit here and I say, listen, man, I'm basing it off a track record. If I say to you, Eddie Hearns went online and said, listen, yeah, we have an offer on the table, a good offer for him. but he doesn't want to answer the phone. And then the reporter goes, listen, Bill Haney said it was like $20 million. Any truth to that? And he goes, I don't want to comment on that, but all I can tell you is it could be more than that. So it's wrong for me to be like, man, there's a good amount of money on the table for him. No, where did he say? Where did he? Guys, it's just, why argue with that? What am I supposed to do with that? Come on, be serious with yourself, man.
Exactly.
Be serious. And now now there's a narrative. You know what I mean?
It's a game now. Hold on, it's a game. It's not even a narrative. It's a game now. He's just playing games with these people.
Right.
He's just pulling. Yeah, man. Listen, too many storytellers, bro. Let's just keep it real. Let's always listen and wait. Everything will come forward. Don't rush it. Once you start rushing stuff, that means you're impatient and you start making up stuff to make it happen. And then you're wrong. And what do you got to do? You got to backtrack.
Or double down and make yourself look worse.
Right. And say it's spicy. Say it's spicy.
Right. Yeah, and call people geniuses and say, like, this is the best thing that could ever happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just eat your crow, man. Eat your crow and live another day.
Don't eat your crow, man. Don't eat your crow, man.
Not us.
Keep them. No, I know, not us. I know. We ain't eat no crow. Let me tell you something that you guys are going to find with us. I'm going to tell you something that you guys can count on with us. We're not, if we don't know, we're not speaking from what we, you know what I'm saying? We're not giving it to you. We're giving opinions, perspective, educated guests. We have to all remember and understand that at the end of the day, what happened in the past is the only thing that's a fact. Everything happening in the future is up for discussion. It can go one way or the other. Like I said, we could wake up tomorrow morning and Tank Davis could just put out a tweet being like, this was all a joke. Ha, ha, ha. Jokes on you guys. That could definitely happen. But we're not going to look stupid because nobody's sitting here, you know what I'm saying, giving it being one way or another. We're just entertaining the reality of the situation. There's 100 ways to skin a cat. So this could turn, this can develop in all kinds of ways. You know what I mean?
Perfect scenario to that. Ryan Garcia called out Devin Haney, sent him an offer, dropped out of the offer after he stated that Devin Haney would be the one to leave. Got dissed on the mantle, got stood up by the groom on the mantle.
Right.
Had to come running back to Devin. Now he don't want to pay Devin for what he did. But everybody's saying Devin's asking for more. He's trying to price himself out. No, you stood me up once, bro. Now you gotta bring that ring. You gotta bring that ring. You gotta make
that act of good faith. You need that act of good faith. You know what I'm saying?
So you're going to have to pay up. That's it. That's how I look at it.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. A lot of people in Devin Haney's situation wouldn't even entertain the fight the second time. Would have been like, I'm good on that. I'm going to my next opportunity.
Kick rocks.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go get a belt at least. Go get something. Go fight somebody for a belt. Come back when you have a belt, like what Errol told Terrence. You know what I'm saying? Go get a belt and then come holler at me. Give me something to make it make sense to me. I'm not just fighting you just to be fighting.
Right.
Exactly. Especially, you know, in this situation, I was going to give you that fight, but you played with it. So now I'll go make it worth my while with money, or at least go get a belt. You know what I'm saying? With money, or at least go get a belt.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Man. All right.
It is what it is. We're not going to stay, you know, we're not going to hang. We just want to touch base on it. I don't know if you want to, you know, add anything to it. You know what I'm saying?
No, like I said, I think this just opens up the doors on what we've been speaking upon this whole time, and that people need to open up. Like I said, whether it's true or false, we already know we never heard from the man himself. We always hear from his fans or we hear from his team. And like I said, it's not even his direct team. It's just these people out there just throwing stuff out there in the wind to keep him relevant. You know what I mean? Let's hear from what the man has to say. Now, guess what? Now we got it. We heard the news, whether it's good, fake, or indifferent. We heard it.
Yeah, bro. Like, listen, man. Yo, shout out to boxing, man. It's a sport that I love. You know, I really love this sport, and we try to stay true to this sport, man. We just want to see the best fight the best. It's getting so old, but I don't think we'll ever stop saying it because that's all it comes down to, man. And I don't see why anybody else who supposedly loves this sport would. I don't see nobody else who supposedly loves the sport would be on any other kind of energy. When you guys are talking down these fights and taking away all the steam from these fights and flatten the tires on these fights happening. It to me, I don't know what to say about it because it just to me just seems like you hate the sport.
Right.
It's like you hate the sport. I don't understand it. I don't understand how you can see certain things happening and be like, it's totally okay. You're just being a hater. I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is. I digress. You know what I mean? I digress.
I'm with that. You know, like we're seeing all these channels that's just speaking up, man, and they're just disappointed. Everybody's disappointed. So, like I said, we'll see what happens tomorrow. It's another day.
We'll
see what happens at the end of the week.
Just like you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess we'll be on Tuesday live, right?
Definitely.
We got to fight Thursday night, so that's another live.
Exactly.
We'll touch on. So,
listen, and just to touch base with you guys, right, about this whole entire Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman thing. Listen, bro, I'm about to watch Teofimo fight Jermaine Ortiz for free. You know what I'm saying, on Thursday night, just to put that in perspective. Take it for whatever you want to take. Take it for what you want to take it for, man. It is what it is. It's your boy Rain. It's your boy Ray. You know what I'm saying? We in the building. We will, as this story develops, you know what I mean, come double down with us, and we'll see what it is. We'll give the perspectives we have as it develops. But definitely had to comment on this. It seems like a real hot topic right now, just coming out. Let's see what happens tomorrow. You know what I mean?
All right.
On that note, we out.
They hate when you elevate. Yeah. They hate when you elevate. They stacking up losses, I'm handing them out. Yeah, I had to go delegate. It feel like I'm floating, I'm lost in the moment. I swear I could levitate. They never believed that I would really fly. I had to go demonstrate. I had to set them straight. They hate when you elevate.